Hey guys, it's been a while, and by a while I mean a pretty long time. But, when the game first came out, Fire Emblem Heroes, I was like, okay, I totally want to do content on this. But I wasn't exactly sure how to go about it because at the moment when the game first came out, there wasn't really something set in stone yet, and for the most part it was just arena or some event. But it wasn't until later that Tempest Trials came out, and while you could do a video on Tempest Trials, it gets a bit grindy after a while. I guess you could do your initial run, but. So I thought, okay, I'll just do arena runs in like everybody else. But this isn't gonna really be like, hey, like tier 20 runs or something like that. Instead, you know, sort of my journey in trying to reach tier 20 and staying in there because I have reached tier 20 once, but I did not manage to stay in there. I got knocked back to tier 19. So this is just sort of, I guess a journal, a video journal of sorts of, how I go about trying to reach tier 20, and, hopefully I could manage to stay there at least 1 week.
I see.
So, we're fighting against Krom, Frederick, Axura, and
Here yet?
Sharina. Not really too much of a threat. The only one I'm really honestly worried about is Azura, who could sing anyone and, explode one of my units, as in, just kill them. But, not too much of a threat. So Leo is fantastic. She's like my main unit. La Rochelle is the tactic buffer of the team. She has rest tactic and she has the defense tactic seal. Because for the most part, I run mixed emblem. And, she's pretty much good at taking out hefty reds. I mean, she could take down Ike pretty easily, actually, so. Grima is only here because I need someone to boost my BST score. But other than that, he's a fantastic unit anyway, so. But for the most part, I usually won't run a single armored unit on Mixed Emblem unless I have like two, one with Armor March or something. But I didn't mind this time. I was like, okay, I need someone because I have Noire as the bonus unit, and her BST is pretty low actually. So Grima is here to sort of help fix that.
Yes. So Leia's here.
Right now we have a Dragon Emblem team going with Ninian being the only one who isn't built. Probably due to the fact that because she's the dancer.
What?
Choose.
Here I go.
Adult Tiki is pretty easy to take care of with La Rochelle. If I was to go physical on her, that'd be a different story because I think Soleo gets pretty close to dying. Especially if you run in. My playstyle, I'm a bit more defensive when it comes to my playstyle. I don't really have much player phase units. I sort of try to build them around,
What?
defensive wise.
First. Yes.
Corrin isn't much of a threat. She is fast though. Especially with Life and Death. If you put Life and Death on her, she could be pretty fast. Honestly, I think probably one of the fastest dragons. Or Ninian. I think Ninian could also be a contender for that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Corrin's not much of a threat. But the one thing that is kind of iffy and that you should be mindful about is her debuff. In the sense of if she's carrying her normal stone anyways, because if she has lightning breath, then you don't really have to worry about it. But if she has her normal stone, the debuff can hinder a lot of your units if you're not too careful. And honestly, I've lost a couple of runs due to debuffs, so. Yeah, this week was pretty tough though. Noire just isn't fitting all too well in my team. Um, but I think that's mostly due to the fact that I don't have a set C skill that could benefit the team because she has her basic infantry rush, but the only infantry unit I have on the team is Solil, and even then, Solil has Heavy Blade. I know I could replace Heavy Blade because of that, but you know, I mean, might as well just keep it.
Ready to hit the beach?
Choose.
I see.
I do have Summer
So
Tana,
Leia's here.
but she's not fully built, and I think her BST is lower than Noire's. Don't quote me. I am even then. I think it's only like 2 points, but it was either Noire or Canas, and I was like, okay. While Canas is great, and on Reddit when he was first shown, people were pretty upset about Canas, his stat line. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong or anything. I'm not trying to do it because I just don't know how you pronounce it, but when he first came out, people were pretty upset on his stats. They really weren't that impressive, and due to the lack of merges and IVs, it just made it worse. Noe's pretty easy to take care of with any green, really physical, mind you, because if it's magical, it's a different story. But well, in a sense of like physical, as in either another dragon or someone with an axe. Because if you try to use like magic tome wise, or arrow or something like that, she can kind of be hard to deal with.
Dashing. So Leia's here. Ready to hit the beach? I see. Wanna grab tea? This is
Raven
gonna be
becomes
cool.
a pretty deadly offensive unit with his refine, in a sense of where he can't be doubled all too easily before, when he would usually have his brave axe. Now he's actually pretty fast. I think I think I heard that he has a similar stat line to Ryoma, but just a green. So definitely impressive. His refine definitely helped him a lot. Unfortunately, he does take those drops in his defenses, but it's not too much of a big deal. Now, this team I was immediately scared of because they have a Nino. And while Ninos aren't really, they could be dealt with easily, if I'm not too careful, usually some Nino manages to just completely blow up one of my units. So I was pretty terrified at this point. Because Ephraim, Krum, and Sharina aren't that much of a big deal. Right now, my main focus was trying to take out Nino. Unfortunately, my Noire didn't have enough speed, and Krum and Sharina are gonna make it worse by, pulling her away. Thankfully, no one on this team has Wings of Mercy, and thankfully there is no dancer, because if there was a dancer, this would be a lot harder.
Yes.
It would be a bit more difficult if they have a dancer. Same applies to the Reinhardt.
Oh, this heat. Dashing.
I was trying to decide whether I should like Grima take Nino's hit,
I cannot
whether I use Noire to take care of Nino and try to reposition her out of the way, but I decide, okay, let's just get rid of Sharina and use Solio to reposition Noire and move Grima out of the way, because while I think Grima can maybe take the hit, there have been situations where I think that, and then he just gets blown up. Not only that, Nino has ridiculous speed, so I was like, okay, I don't think he's going to be able to kill her. Not only that, but I think she has desperation too. So I wasn't too sure. Most people don't tend to like Fury on their units. It's a bit iffy for me because I prefer, due to my playstyle, if I have access to a stance or a bond skill, I'll take it. But for the most part, due to them being so difficult to get, I tend to put Fury on a lot of my units. And Renewal, I think both my Larshell and my Soleil have Fury and Renewal, because I don't like the damage recoil that Fury has, but I do like the +3 to all stats, effects. So, but if I have access to a stance skill, then I would probably have something completely different on my units. Fury on Soleil is good though. I do like Fury on Soleil. Larshell, I actually wouldn't mind changing it for, Swift Sparrow or something like that, because for the most part, while I do like playing defensively, Larshell is a unit who's better offensively. And I don't have extra copies of Swift Sparrow.
Yes.
I see.
Mirror Strike would be good, but
Cool.
her res doesn't really need a boost. So, yeah. And I'd prefer a double effect, because I do have Death Blow, but I want something that increases Larshell's speed.
I will devour you.
Blue armors like Gwendolyn and Effie are kind of dangerous sometimes, only because if you're not too careful, their special, assuming they have Bonfire and high defenses, could get rid of a unit like Grima pretty easily. And it's happened to me a few times.
Who dies first?
Right now I'm trying to get Soleil to take care of that Hector while not getting in the range of Ike. And I'm slowly moving Larshell up so she can get rid of the Ike.
This heat.
I probably could have used Soleil to get rid of Hector, but I wanted to give some Noire some time to shine. But yeah, I think this should be the last run, and I think that's it. Those are our 5 runs, and thankfully no one died, so that was good. I think the hardest map would have to be the Nino, the map that had Nino on it.
I have arrived.
Again, if there was a dancer on that team, it probably would have been 10 times more difficult, but since they didn't have one, it was a bit more easier to deal with. Yeah, with that, we made it to tier 19, and hopefully next time I do this, maybe we could get into tier 20. I don't know. I think we are a bit, we're a couple points short, but we'll see.